just had a very clear thought that I want to share. In our culture, as children, when we experience emotions and share them, usually the adults are not happy about it. No, I'm talking to you. It's fine. I'll look at them too. But I actually prefer to speak to a human. And I know that you're a human too, but it's hard. It's harder with the camera here. In any case, a child says, "I don't like that." The parent goes, "You shut up. Don't you talk back to me. I tell you what to do. I'm the parent. You're the child." And so the child learns that when they feel a strong negative emotion, instead of acting it, speaking it, letting their body express it, the reaction is to hold it. And holding an emotion looks the same almost no matter what the emotion. It looks like this. Freeze. Standing in a frozen position like this in a tribal culture where people are moving around a lot, stillness is something's wrong. Oh, it's just a squirrel. And then back into movement. So we used to have the default be movement, and now the default is stillness. And stillness creates a fear response in the body. It triggers our sympathetic nervous system to be ready to take action, increases cortisol levels, and the social distancing. Even before coronavirus, in our culture, we don't touch each other very much. So I've had many interactions here at the festival with people who don't speak English as their first language, which at this point in time, I think there's only 4 of us, 5, out of 40 for whom English is our first language. And I'm the only one in Sasha's class for whom English is their first language, including the instructor. So it's a course taught in English, translated to Russian, in which nobody other than me hears the small flaws in her grammar, for example. She speaks English clearly, but with Russian syntax. So the order of the words is a bit different. She doesn't always speak in full sentences. She doesn't need to. She communicates concepts, and she uses her body a lot. And so I feel like I always understand what Sasha wants. So I've had many interactions where I said something to a person, and what they would like to say to me is some negative feeling. Please don't talk about that, I'm uncomfortable. Or I don't want to dance with you right now. Or just some type of desire for distance instead of closeness. And if that's what they desire, in my first language, what they should do is go like this, like, not right now. Just the hands and the face, like,
It's American gesture.
no, this is a this is a human body language.
International.
Think of this. Right? Open, come, and this, the drawing, like, come here. Versus like, that's enough. If there's eye contact with the person that you know, who moves with their whole body, because if we keep our center engaged, every time we move a foot, a hand has to move to counterbalance the system. So it's not necessary that we think all the time about moving our hands, just that we keep them engaged. Part of the system. Ready that if I move this way, my arm will go that way, but I didn't think to do that. It just happened because I let it happen. Because my body was like, we're falling, and now I need to slow the fall down or to bring my center back. The other way, oh, I caught myself down here because I was falling, and my instinct was get the hand in the right position to touch and soften and bend and take weight and push back. Instinctively, we know how to move if it's functional movement. The reason I'm using this muscle is to move my body in that direction at that speed, rather than in gyms where there's machines where you just like pull on a thing and you have to do 10 of them. It's really hard and it hurts, and sometimes you injure yourself, but you do burn calories, you do lose weight, you do build muscle, and people applaud your efforts for going to the gym because it's a healthy thing to do. And yet, I don't know of any people who work with those machines who don't have the same problem in general of the body being hunched around and forward, because none of those machines are going to get them to reach behind their body, take weight, and use this as a platform to push. Their arms don't go back there. If I said to touch something over there, they'd be like, because the back of body is shut down from lack of use, basically. Not to go too far into posture, because the thing that I'm really thinking about right now is the fear, repress, don't act response that we are taught as children. Don't say anything. Don't show anything. Be a good girl. Be quiet. In America, it's like this. I think Russia also probably. I think most cultures on the planet, little girls especially, are told, shh, be quiet. And when they get upset, sometimes it's, oh, it's okay, baby. Here, have some love from me because you're upset. And so those little girls learn the pattern of creating negative emotion to receive love, and do this over and over and over and over and over again. In my case, in my family, I basically just had to do what my parents told me to do, or they would start taking away privileges like television and video games and permission to see friends. They didn't hit me, but it was a very clear, very rigid system of rewards and punishments, so that I knew what to do to have a very nice life. Mostly by just not angering them, so that I could still see my friends and use the cool things. Only like this week, I've been thinking about, what motivated young David? What was he thinking about when he made his decisions? What was his direction? What were his desires? And what did he learn about the world around him that taught him how to receive approval or to be punished? It's very interesting to reflect on how I feel about authority and rules. Hi. Thanks for holding the camera this long. Are your arms tired?
It's okay.
You're good? Thank you. And this is the sort of thing too where I would hope that if at any point in time you got tired of doing it, you would like tap her on the knee and like nod down to the camera and like use not words but sign language to communicate like, will you take it? And she might take it, because we don't actually need words to communicate most of the things that we're doing, which is why I think the silent retreat is going to be a really fascinating experiment. And I would like to participate. However, I also want to facilitate immersions, and I don't know that Mario will let me participate in the silent retreat if I spend 2.5 hours a day giving instruction verbally. I don't think he will. That said, I can choose to be in silence the rest of the time and do my own silent retreat. There's nothing in the universe that can prevent me from doing that. But for me, I think it would be enough just to speak less. Not zero, but less, because I speak a lot. And I enjoy speaking a lot.
Have you ever experienced the silence?
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did 10 days of Vipassana meditation. So, how was it for me? So I say, how was it? How was it for you? Not how it was for you. How was it? How was it? Yeah. How was it for me? It's such an open-ended question.
First day, okay, first day.
Yeah.
How was it first day for you?
At the beginning, easy, because I had been doing 20 minutes a day for 6 months leading up to it, so my meditation practice was existent, and I had some back pain, but it wasn't so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Day 2, day 3, I think on day 3 they started doing a 1-hour block each day where you're not allowed to move at all.
Yes.
So in the first 2 or 3 days, I would sit, and if my back is hurting, I would go like this or crack something, and then go, oh, and come back. And I would move my hand position. I tried on the floor. I tried here. I tried different pillows. It was like, it's safe. It was a experimentation in how can I do this without my back hurting a lot. I know I can do it. I'm going to try different props. And except for that 1 hour, it was very, very, chill. But the 1 hour was really hard because I was resolved to do it, and it hurt. Resolved means to be. Do you know what a resolution is?
Yeah.
So a resolution. A resolution is the result of somebody having strong resolve to change something, to do something, to write something.
Result, намерение, like a wish, but persistent wish.
Yes, a persistent wish. Now I can have resolve in general, not about a specific thing, so it's not necessarily a wish. It's a strong force of will towards some direction. And if a person has strong resolve in general, that just means that when they apply themselves, they, when they're committed, they do it. So, what were we talking about when I said resolve?
I had a...
It's lost forever. Oh well, tangents. I prefer to work with tangents, but I don't feel like...
2-3 days, you mean, like on
Oh, the third day, right. On the third, I think it was actually maybe the fourth day. Yeah, I really, 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 really wanted to not move. It was going to be a huge accomplishment for me. I can do it. I can do it. I'm stronger than the pain. But the very first time I didn't do it, after 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I go like this. I go and crack, like really loud, like 4 or 5 of them going up my spine. So I know everyone in the room heard it. And I think to myself, like you failed. And everyone knows, not that you failed, but that somebody in the group moved. And this creates an awareness. Now, during these 1 hour meditations, the man who was sitting just in front of me and to the right side moved a lot. Like he just could not be still. And he was sometimes wearing pants made of a fabric that made a sound when he moved. So every little repositioning was like shh, 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 shh.
So much sensations.
For me to take in and not create some scars. We also had geese. You know what a goose is? Yeah. Do you know what a Canada goose looks like? They have very long necks. They're black and white patterned. They're larger than ducks. They have much longer legs also. They fly in big, not a pack. What would you call a bunch of geese? A gaggle. The technical word for many geese together is a gaggle. So they fly, they migrate in large gaggles. I never said this sentence. In between Canada and some territories south of there where it's warmer. Yeah. When it's winter time, they go south. So the geese were nesting just outside the meditation hall, creating a nest, and they were very aggressive, and they were very protective of their territory, and they fought with each other a lot around their territory, and if you got too close to their nest, they would also snap at you. I didn't get bit, but I had a couple of close calls where I backed up very quickly. I was bitten by a goose when I was much younger. It sucks. They're strong. They have teeth. It's
Angry birds.
Yeah. Or maybe not teeth. I guess it's a beak. I don't know what they have in there, but it makes them work. Yeah.
It's just very firm.
Yeah, it pinches
Firm
like a
clash.
bitch. So, I feel like that was the hardest part for me. The feeling of firm resolve followed by abject failure. Several times, because I did maybe half of the times make it through the 1 hour without moving, but the other half, I moved. And each time was like, again. and with not being capable of honoring your commitment to yourself. Like, how weak are you? Like, all you have to do is be still for 5 more minutes and you fucking couldn't do it. So, like, self-shaming, self-berating.
So you didn't think about, oh, I will move now, and then after 5 minutes I will want to move again. So why I have to move now? It's the same.
Agreed? Yeah.
Did you cry?
I don't think I cried during the Vipassana. I felt a lot of things, but none of them were sadness. It was more like anger. Anger at the dude who was moving so much, anger at the geese, anger at my back, anger at all the injustices in the world, just feeling that, and then alternating between that and compassion and bliss and connection. You know, and it got to be, so the balance shifted a bit away from the anger and towards the compassion by day 10.
Compassion. What means compassion?
I think boys do not cry from anger because showing anger is really natural for the man culture.
Are you comfortable being on the camera when you talk?
Yeah.
You can point it at her while she's talking.
Меня можно снимать, когда я говорю.
Oh, okay.
And for girls, feeling anger is not a very feminine way of behavior.
No?
So when we are angry, we cannot be too much in this feeling, and that's why we start crying from anger. So boys do not cry from anger, but girls cry.
That makes sense to me.
I cried, but not from anger.
Yeah, but from many things. But
Oh,
as,
okay.
he told about anger.
I can even, like, I imagine that if I'm angry, but I'm in a place where expressing my anger is totally prohibited, I'm going to be really scared and sad about the fact that I can't express my anger. That's a lack of freedom, a lack of free will, free expression. And that I can cry about. But yeah, for me, when I'm angry, I usually do one of two things. I either perform some sort of ritual to try and remind myself of the other side of things, a meditation or a visualization or something, or I go directly to the person and I tell them that I'm angry and ask them if we can have a conversation about it. And if they say no, then I kind of shift a little bit in my mind how much I prioritize my relationship with that person. If they're not willing to meet me and speak with me during times when I have emotions, then we can't have a functional relationship. So it's still cool to be like kind to those people and to keep in touch, but like in terms of who we're going to actually spend our time relating with, we should choose people that listen to us on a very basic level of listening and understanding, people that are willing to sit and hear and empathize, which in this community is almost everybody. But where I come from in Minnesota, when I was in high school, I mean, like, it's just not a thing that was taught. That's not what you do with your friends. With your friends, boys play sports and video games and make fun of each other, like take the piss out of each other, call each other bitches and cunts and shit like that, to show their affection for each other. That's very normal. And girls, when they're hanging out, my understanding, I've never been a girl ever with other girls, but girls talk a lot about boys and about other girls, and there's a lot of gossip and a lot of like tribe making and like politics and manipulation of other girls and of the boys, and the queen bee, owns everything. This is a real phenomenon that occurs in a lot of small social groups, and it's very easy to see why it occurs because there are television shows that model this behavior perfectly. They literally put the model for dysfunctional, psychopathic, sociopathic behavior on TV, and they show it to small children.
Model? What
How
means
do you-
model?
Hmm?
Model?
Model.
What is it?
A model is a representation.
Model.
Of
Okay.
So in this case, in contact improvisation, we model techniques and postures. In this case, we are putting television on ostensibly, which means supposedly or apparently, for the entertainment of adults. These shows that are specifically geared towards children, I feel like shows specifically geared towards children are usually nicer. SpongeBob SquarePants doesn't, you know.
Specifically,
Oh.
geared with specifically La 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 to children.
Geared.
They show.
Geared. A gear is a part of a machine, like a cog. So in your car, you have gears. In the motorcycle, on the bicycle, there are gears. You change from.
With the small speed?
Yeah.
But shouldn't
Yeah, so on bicycle, you can say first speed. Also, you can say first gear. Same thing.
передача, yeah. I thought it's gear.
So a gear being a part of a machine causes something to function the way you desire it to function. So if something like a television program is geared, that means that it was manufactured, made intelligently as a machine would be made to accomplish a specific goal. In this case, geared towards children, the television shows that are designed to be consumed by children, most of them are better than the teenage and adult dramas that model relationship behavior that's really, really self-destructive. More mango? What's on it?
It's like salad, right?
I want.
Salad
There.
and spicy.
This one's coming.
I want. Ah.
But I asked about garlic. Is out garlic? Is out tomato. And just
Oh, the spices are so good. So yeah, so this all started just from an observation of an emotional response being a freeze response. Freeze. Be ready for danger. If we train everyone in our culture to look for that response, to recognize that it's a repressed emotional response, and to pause and ask, I'm noticing that you're holding your breath and that you tense your shoulders, and I'm imagining that you're feeling some emotion. What are you feeling? And then just shut your mouth and listen for as long as that person will keep talking. Do not interrupt them. Do not try to affirm what they're saying. Just be with them and take in the information. And if anything, relax your body and follow their movements. The best way to show you that I'm paying very close attention to you is if I do exactly what you're doing with your head and neck. So yeah, so if you go like this, go ahead, just start moving your head around a little bit. Will you move your head around, please?
I couldn't be.
So I'm really just providing a mirror to you of what I see you doing, which reinforces to you, oh, he's listening. Not only is he listening, he's listening and communicating the fact that he is listening. So there's a lot of layers of communication happening that have nothing to do with words. Yes. If you're moving around and we have an agreement that my role is to observe you, perhaps we're doing authentic movement. If I take my role very seriously and I really watch you, my body will move, not in a gross way, but in a subtle way, to track your movements. If you do a cartwheel, I'm gonna go, ooh, cool. Such that any person who was in the space could look around and figure out who's watching who very easily, because they're not just looking, they're also moving. If a person observes like this, my eyes are looking over there, but after a while this position gets a little bit uncomfortable, my head needs to move, and so I move my head, now I'm looking over there. Huh. that's interesting. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this. I forgot, right? Here I am again. Okay. Kind of sleepy. I didn't really sleep enough last. Oh, I fell asleep. Oops. Okay, now I'm back. Okay. As long as I'm engaged actively in communicating something to you, my body will not fall asleep. I promise you that. Not in the middle of an active communication. We're geared to communicate with other primates and animals and mammals in general. So I really feel that teaching people how to recognize the pattern. Oh, I did that. I'm aware of it. That's good. And to say, pat on my back. Good job. I noticed the pattern. Even though it happened and I didn't take action this time, I noticed it. That's a really good first step. Next time he says this to me, I'm just going to be like, that's mean. Shut up. Like, I'm just going to let him know. Don't talk to me like that. So that he can alter his behavior, because the last time he said that, I just went, okay, and walked away, which does not communicate to him, I'm actually really upset about this thing that you said. And so he thinks that everything is fine, and he goes off and does his thing, and the whole 6 hours that you're apart, one partner has no idea that anything is wrong, the other partner is stewing in it, writing in their journal, and they're calling their mom, and like, it's, you know, it's potentially catastrophic to the relationship. Whereas if in the moment of upset or anger, if she just says, why would you say that? How do you think I feel when you say that? It's ridiculous. How could you think that? Then the other person will take a step back and they have a decision point right there. A lot of people run from those confrontations. Be like, I don't have time for this right now. You're always blowing things out of proportion. I'm out of here. And they go. And the others who value that relationship and have the tools to save it will go, oh yeah, please tell me, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings just now. I realize I must have done something to hurt you. Please tell me, I'm listening, and just listen. And then whatever the thing is that you did, it doesn't matter if she's blaming you for shit that you didn't do. If something happened and she had a strong emotional response about it, all you need to do is let her know that you hear her and that you're sorry that it happened and that you're gonna help make sure it doesn't happen again. We got this. Cool. We're good. We don't need to fix it right now. Just, I'm here, and I learned this from the book. Which one was it? It'll come back to me. In any case, the lesson is, if you are in a relationship and your partner is in an emotional state frequently, something has happened in their life that causes them to be upset frequently. It could be they're losing their job or somebody's dying, but in any case, it happens a lot that they need support. That the absolute best way to get somebody out of a funk is to hold them, hear them for a short time, and then to dance and move and joke and get them back into a positive mindset around what's happening now.
Get someone out of a funk.
Yeah, get someone out of a funk. So, F-U-N-K.
Что это?
To be in a funk is the normal pattern is broken. Usually, I go to school. Yeah, what you got? Usually, I go to school and I go to my classes and I'm happy and I'm in a good mood and I'm collaborating with people. But on this day, I'm in a funk. I'm in a funk. I feel weird. I don't want to go to school. I'm gonna skip school. Hi. Let's do it. What time is it now?
We already have to go.
What time is it now?
It is
Okay, climb on. Ah, we have to go. Maybe after class?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go to embryology class. Thanks.
Oh, we have
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.